Hello, fellow humans. My name is Dorothy Laxton, and this is Fostering Untethered Communication and Knowledge, an adventure in stimulating objective, critical thought, shining the spotlight through individual spectacles, putting it once again on the bigger picture and our parts in it. Searching for life beyond the lifestyles we North American urban dwellers have to choose to chase, encouraging all to participate in positive change. Good morning. We're going to see how this goes, because I keep telling myself I'm going to do video for you guys. I am currently reflecting on having just watched Candace Owens' film, The Biggest Lie Ever Sold. I'm really not comfortable with the fact that I'm agreeing with some of the people that I'm agreeing with, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with. I mean, it was pretty evident that she was kind of itching to find a way to smear George Floyd, and she couldn't. And she didn't. She did actually, I think, a very good job of filtering the bias we all know she has on that one, particularly when dealing with his roommates. I mean, this is the one thing I'm going to give the right now, is they're being a hell of a lot more reasonable than the left. And I think the really important draw on this is that what BLM became was a way for a small group of people to completely monopolize on a very tragic situation. Now, do I think that the officers that George Floyd was in their care were responsible for his death? Yeah, for sure, 100%. Looking at the video footage, which I've avoided because I don't really need to see that, and listening to him, I think what they failed to do was recognize that he was in the middle of an overdose. I do believe that he died of a fentanyl overdose. What I think happened is the cops were coming and there were drugs in the car, and I think he ate them, because there's evidence of half-eaten pills in the cruiser that nobody looked at. That's really interesting evidence that was overlooked. It's pretty evident from the information that I'm going to give her credit for, like I said, biting her tongue as much as she could. I know she wanted to say, oh, they're erecting statues to, this horrible person. And he wasn't a horrible person. He was an addict, and addiction is something we're all caught up in right now. And that's consumer culture. That's a whole other conversation. But if I'm going to do a reaction video, I might as well do a reaction video. I'm doing it literally no holds barred, no filter, naked, plain, bare. This is it. So what we need to take away now, my first thoughts on the whole George Floyd thing was it was a matter of mental health. I knew it was a matter of mental health. They were not recognizing certain signs and dealing with that. If they had done that, if they had recognized that this guy was tweaking because he just ate a bag full of fentanyl, that's what I think happened from what I've seen. Sorry about the shakiness. Again, I'm doing this very impromptu. And in the meantime, like the carnage that's been justified, I'm sorry, but it's not justifiable. Okay? Especially when, like people are running around screaming that, 84-year-old women who are canvassing about pro-life issues are violence. They're violent. That's violent. But burning down police stations is okay. And killing people, literally killing people, is okay in the name of a tragic incident. I really honestly think that police need to be better trained in seeing symptoms of mental health crises and signs of overdose. We're completely not looking at the right issues here. Meantime, there are a small handful of people who are living in mansions There's loads of money that's gone all over the place that's come out of a lot of honest people's pockets who really think that they're doing good. I suggest that, whatever your bias is, you watch the information. Pay attention to the information. Candace does do a pretty good job of putting what she found out there. And not everything was what she was looking for, but she put it all out there. And I will give her credit for that. I'm not really a fan of hers. I don't like her I don't have anything against her personally. Personality type presentation stuff, it's not my cup of tea. But I can't argue with facts. And that's what we have to stop doing, is we have to stop listening to media bias and start picking the facts out, okay? Because all of the information out there has kernels of truth in it that is just being exploited. Like George Floyd should be honored as a wake-up sign for us and how we treat people generally. I do not think this was because he was black. I do think it was because he was a really, really big, scary man. Like a big man, tall, aggressive. He wasn't being aggressive. That's the other, they were really not interpreting the signs very well. That's where the police failed. I don't think that officer's knee on that man's neck was the failure. The failure was to recognize the signs that this guy was going to go into cardiac arrest. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Why aren't they checking him medically? He's complaining about this while he's standing. That's where he's responsible. He is responsible for the death in that. And he's serving time. And he's got to sit there with himself for 23 hours a day. And he's one man. And yeah, that's the problem with the system, is not being able to correctly identify these things. It's very sad. But again, the big takeaway from here is about what's happened with Black Lives Matter. Okay. I'm the farthest thing from a racist, and I really, really get offended when people who have been ignoring all of the things that I've been saying for years about actually, giving a crap about one another and our interconnectedness and our place in the grand scheme of things. We may be, insignificant and incredibly self-important at the same time. But we all have butterfly wings, and it doesn't, these things, man. Anyway, I wanted to record those thoughts and share them with the world. I'm going to keep trying to do that, and hopefully do it a little more planned. I'm trying to motivate myself to get my studio set up with the proper camera so that I can actually start regularly sharing some of my thoughts, because I think we all need to do that. We all need to figure out where we're able to find a same page to be on. As long as we continue to just sit here in our bubbles and have our own individual notions, we can never have a cohesive society if we don't recognize that we need to have some compromise and some modesty and some limits. We are not limitless. The only way we are limitless is in our interconnectedness. And we can't be interconnected if we're just gross individuals. And with that, I'm going to say happy Wednesday. It is October 19th, 2022 is the date of this recording. And I am really trying hard to frame the stuff more positively. We might not get out of where we are right now. There's some pretty troubling stuff going on in the United States with all of this politicking. And our increasing dissociation with actual reality. The fact that they are just toying with the idea of using nuclear weapons is insane. It's insane. Potassium iodide pills. If you want to have a means of stretching out a couple of weeks anyway. I can't believe I just said that. That's where we are, guys. That's why I'm doing this. Believe it or not, as much as sometimes I really loathe humanity, I love you all. And that's why I get angry. Because I'm just so frustrated with the fact that we are barreling towards the side of a mountain that we're never gonna bore through. Thanks for listening. Narrative bullshit. It's propaganda.